Around 15 years ago, this American dream began to fade. And as it faded, middle-class families tried every means they had of holding on. Spouses went to work. When did you find that great increase in women in the workforce? In the late 1970s, in the late 1980s. Both parents worked longer hours, or they took multiple jobs. They decided to have fewer kids. Middle class, actually, the number of kids in an average middle class family has actually declined. Middle class families, notwithstanding these coping mechanisms, middle class families have not been able to regain their footing. They push these coping mechanisms about as far as they can go, and they still feel that they are losing the American dream. My friends, we are on the way to becoming a two-tiered society, composed of a few winners and a larger group of Americans left behind, whose anger and whose disillusionment is easily manipulated. Once unbottled, mass resentment can poison the very fabric of society, the moral integrity of a society, replacing ambition with envy, replacing tolerance with hate. Today, the targets of that rage are immigrants and welfare mothers and government officials and gays and an ill-defined counterculture. But as the middle class continues to erode, who will be the targets tomorrow? Now, we know that we cannot resurrect the old middle class of the first decades after World War II. The economy has changed forever. We can't bring that back. But what we can do is clear the way for a new middle class. The private sector has a critical role to play in creating this new middle class. It will not happen unless companies invest heavily in training their workers to use the new technologies and give them authority to make decisions. This is not a matter of charity. This is not a matter of doing good. This is a matter of the bottom line. The best companies in this country right now, large and small, Levi Strauss, Lincoln Electric, LS Electro Galvanizing, Anheuser-Busch, they are treating their workers as assets to be developed, nurtured, trained, rather than as costs to be cut. But mark my words, if American industry fails to forge such a compact with their workers, it will jeopardize American competitiveness in decades to come. If American business continues to pursue short-term profits at the price of insecurity and falling living standards for a large portion of our society, it will sooner or later reap the bitter harvest of popular rage. Because America's real choice for the future in coming decades is between strenuous measures to restore our middle-class tradition and equally strenuous but infinitely sadder efforts to accommodate ourselves to its disappearance.